I asked.
You asked.
I Okay, it's 6:30. I'm going to call the meeting of the Clintondale Board of Education to order. Mr. Manning, please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All rise.
I give my pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much for coming tonight. This is our only meeting in July, and then we have one meeting in August, and then back in September, we will be back to our 2 a months. Right now, Mr. Powers and Mrs. Noak are on their way. Until Mrs. Noak arrives, the chair appoints Mr. Manning to act as secretary. Mr. Manning, please call the roll, sir.
Mr. Jones. Present. Ms. Santini.
Present.
Ms. Kaminsky.
Present.
Mr. Manning is here, and Mr. Maynard.
Present. The chair recognizes 5 votes at this time. Also in attendance, we have our child care director, Ms. Klopsky, our athletic director, Mr. Walmsley, our PR professional, Alex Hitchell. We have director of human resources, Mrs. Walmsley. We have the board executive secretary, Ms. Teresa Wilson. And we have several of the teachers in the audience and friendly faces. Thank you all for coming. Board members, as you know, we have, for my communication to you all earlier today, we have several addendums to be added to the agenda. So I am going to present the agenda with the following addendums, and I will ask for a motion to approve and support after I read them. 1AD, it is recommended by the board president and the superintendent that the board approve Sean Shackelford as high school principal for the 2024-2025 school year, contingent upon approved fingerprints, physical, and records check. The rate of pay will be $102,000. 2AD, it is recommended by the board president and the superintendent that the board approve Daniel Berry as middle school principal for the 2024-2025 school year, contingent upon approved fingerprints, physical, and records check. The rate of pay will be $101,000. 3AD, social worker. It is recommended by the superintendent and the director of human resources that the board approve Zaika Davis as a social worker for the 2024-2025 school year, contingent upon fingerprints, physical, and records check. The rate of pay will be $55,889, which is step 5 of the MA salary schedule. Number 4AD, supervisor of operations. It is recommended by the superintendent and the director of human resources that the board approve Carla Kelly as supervisor of operations. The rate of pay will be $60,000. This will be prorated to July 1st, 2024. Carla has been employed as secretary 3 in the building and grounds department since 2014. Board members, I lay the agenda with those following amendments for your approval.
So moved.
Ms. Kaminsky, is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Manning. Board members, are there any questions? So all of these items will fall under the non-consent, and I will pick them up I will start them all at number 8 will be 1AD, number 9 will be 2AD, number 10 will be 3AD, and number 11 will be 4AD. Hearing no discussion, Mr. Manning, please call the roll for the approval of the agenda as amended.
Ms. Kaminsky.
Votes yes.
Mr. Manning votes yes. Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Ms. Santini.
Yes.
And Mr. Maynard.
Yes. Motion carries 5-0. The agenda is amended as presented, submitted. Thank you. Couldn't figure the word out there. Approval of the minutes. It is recommended by the superintendent and the board president that the board approve the regular board meeting minutes of June 24th, 2024, and the policy committee meeting minutes of July 24th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve the minutes as submitted?
So moved.
Mr. Manning, is there support? Mr. Jones? Okay. Any discussion, any changes, any additions that I didn't catch? No? Mrs. Walmsley?
Policy meeting minutes. I didn't know we had a policy meeting July 24th.
We did. We discussed the new spending schedule for the district and the superintendent and the authority levels. We did not need you that day. Formal policy will be coming forthcoming. Okay? Any other questions? No? But thank you for all the work you do for the policy committee. For those of you that don't know on the policy committee why I'm here, we are gonna have a meeting. The changes that we need to do, from what the lawyer suggested, we've got a lot more work to do just for year-over changes. So it's coming. We just gotta figure out what day works for the three of us. Hearing none, Mr. Manning, please call the roll.
Mr. Manning votes yes. Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Santini?
Yes.
Ms. Kaminsky?
Yes.
And Mr. Maynard?
Yes, motion carries 5-0. The minutes are approved as presented. Number 6, it is recommended by the board president and the superintendent that you approve the correspondences as submitted. Correspondence for Elaine Curry, correspondence from Alex Taylor, correspondence from Kara Cottrell, and correspondence from Melanie Cargill. Is there a motion to accept the correspondences?
So moved.
Ms.
Support.
Kaminsky, supported by Mr. Manning. Is there any discussion? Mr. Manning, please call the roll.
Ms. Kaminsky?
Votes yes.
Mr. Manning votes yes. Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Santini?
Yes.
And Mr. Maynard?
Yes, motion carries 5-0. We are now at the point of the meeting for the superintendent's report. The chair recognizes our great and talented superintendent, Ken Janzarek. I got it right.
Close. We're getting there.
A year later.
For my report this evening, I just want to give some recognition to our building and grounds, all the individuals right now working so diligent to get our school ready for next school year. Everything from air conditioning to painting the floors, you name it. The work that's being done, I can't thank them enough. I stop into the buildings daily to get updates from various individuals, and just extremely impressed. Going the extra effort to try to get everything done on the inside of the building so we can then start to have a focus on the outside of the buildings. I want to stress just the work that's being done at Rainbow right now, from cleaning to painting to fixing, to the work that's being done right now to transform Rainbow into an early childhood center is amazing. I see an individual in the audience nodding right now as she spent the afternoon over there painting. I see another individual covering his face. Thank you very much for all that you do out there, sir. Even though the text messages sometimes aren't always the best news, Phil, but I appreciate everything. No, just the work that they're doing right now, I can't thank them enough. Their hard work is so just above and beyond, so thank you. I also want to take a moment to talk about a couple documents that you see sitting on the table over here, as well as our flag that Alex was brought in for the day for some additional advertisement. Please, if you get a chance and you want to pick something up, we have an enrollment card with a QR code. Goes right to our website. Alex is working right now, probably as we speak, to update our Early Childhood Center website through Final Site. So you'll see some final additions on there for everywhere to be able to enroll. You're also going to notice some additional signs, probably out in some people's front yards as we've just ordered them. The signs will read on one side, it'll be about don't miss the bus and filing out the information to get the bus to pick you up, as well as another one for enrollment. I have to stress, enrollment. Getting the students in early, getting them enrolled early is extremely helpful for us as a district. Those students that come in, when we're aware of them, we're able to plan and prepare better. I can't stress enough, their GSRP. If you have someone in the community that you know would be interested in GSRP, we've expanded eligibility levels, we've expanded classrooms, we've expanded opportunities for our kids within the community. Please share with them. We have GSRP options available here in Clintondale. Please share with them the amazing work that's being done right now at Rainbow to turn it into an early childhood center, as well as traditional enrollment. I can't go a day without having a new family walk in central office and one of the individuals there helping with enrollment. So continue to spread that word, to get online, fill the documents out, and get the information out early. So that's all I have for this evening.
Does anybody have any questions for the superintendent? No? Thank you very much for your report. I think we left off one item. I was speaking with the superintendent today, and we are approved finally for our night lock system. And he is bringing night lock in, I believe, in tomorrow or the next day.
We're trying to get night lock in. We've got the approvals from the state, so that's just with the safety and security money. We're currently working right now to get our key fobs in. They're working right now, pulling wires, putting the wires in, getting everything ready. Night lock's just that another step. In order to get night lock approved, we had to jump through a large number of hoops at the state level, both with the building as well as fire department. So we're working right now, trying to get them in, trying to get everything finalized to be able to move forward.
Great. Has the governor signed the budget yet? I know. We're waiting for the governor to sign the
You want me to
budget.
do a report on that?
Go ahead.
Now would be a great time if you're interested in public education and school budget. Now would be a great time to really do a deep dive into what's being signed with our school aid budget right now. The numbers per pupil right now is a 0 increase. So we are going to be receiving the same amount of money this year as we did last year. There is talk that percentages here and percentages there through other retirement money will have an impact, but in reality, it's a 0 FTE increase for the year. The budget also had some language in there. It's all public knowledge. You can Google it, but it's reduced the amount of 31AA money by a half. It's reduced the amount of, and the 31 AAs are safety and security and mental health supports for our district. So those are a couple areas for me as an educator. I'm extremely concerned about, one being it's an FTE, not 0 increase currently. And then the 31 AA. There's other things in there from the GSRP. I'm very thankful for the additional GSRP funds. I'm very thankful for the additional opportunities to expand our early childhood. We were ahead of the game with that, going from 3 classrooms in the previous year, 5 this last year, and hopefully 6 or 7 next year. So we have been able to expand there, but as that budget's signed, it will have some impact. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, I highly recommend.
I hope she signs it quick. That's all I can say. All right, thank you, Mr. Superintendent, for that fantastic report. Board members, we are now going to move into public comment regarding business before the board this evening. We encourage you to voice your opinion on topics on the agenda. Please stand and be recognized by the chairperson and state your name and address before commenting. To provide the opportunity for all to participate, board policy limits each individual to 3 minutes. To ensure due process and the respect of individual rights, the district maintains a formal process for handling complaints against individuals. A problem involving an individual or individuals or a specific incident is best handled through administrative channels. Speakers are asked to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy of others who may be affected by your comments. Speakers should be aware that if your statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, you may be held legally responsible. Is there anybody that would like 3 minutes to talk about business on the agenda this evening? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. Board members, there's only one item on the consent agenda. It is to hire a custodian, Alberta Reed, at $15.96 an hour. Does anybody wish to pull the item? None? Okay, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Mr. Manning, is there support? Support by Mr. Jones. Mr. Manning, call the roll.
Mr. Manning votes yes. Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Santini?
Yes.
Ms. Kaminsky?
Yes.
And Mr. Maynard?
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Non-consent agenda. First item, resignation is recommended by the superintendent and the director of human resources that the board approve the resignation of Elaine Curry, an elementary arts teacher effective June 30th, 2024. Ms. Curry worked for the district for 3 months. Is there a motion to accept her resignation?
So moved.
Ms. Kaminsky, is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Manning. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Ms. Kaminsky?
Votes yes.
And Mr. Manning votes yes. Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Santini?
Yes.
And Mr. Maynard?
Yes. Motion carries 5-0. Second, technology coordinator. It is recommended by the superintendent and the director of human resources that the board approve Mandy Wise as the technology coordinator effective immediately. The rate of pay will be $60,000 annually, prorated to the number of days worked in the 2024-2025 school year. This is a 52-week non-union position. As a note, board members, I pre-approved Ms. Wise to start employment here on the 22nd of July 2024, so I'm looking for a motion to officially make her the technology coordinator.
So moved.
Ms. Kaminsky. Support by Mr. Jones. Board members, is there any discussion? Mrs. Weiss, do you want to say anything? I'm sorry, you're new. I should have queued you up to that. I apologize.
I know I met many of you, I think, last week, and
Okay.
yesterday. So, yeah, I guess I just want to say, obviously, I'm Mandy Wise, and then I'm excited to become part of the family here at Clintondale Community Schools. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Mr. Manning, call the roll.
Ms. Kaminsky.
Votes yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Ms. Santini.
Yes.
Ms. Kaminsky.
Nope.
I voted.
You.
Mr. Manning votes yes, and Mr. Maynard.
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Welcome to the team, Mandy. Thank you.
Shocked there's somebody here.
Number 3, care agreement. It is recommended by the superintendent and the director of human resources that the board approve the agreement with Care of Southeast Michigan for the 2024-2025 school year. There is no additional contract rate increase associated with this agreement. The cost is $1.50 per a student. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Manning, is there support for Mr. Manning's motion?
Support.
Ms. Kaminsky, is there any discussion, board members? Mr. Manning, call the roll, please, sir.
Mr. Manning votes yes. Ms. Kaminsky.
Votes yes.
Ms. Santini.
Yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
And Mr. Maynard.
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Number 4, homecoming activities. It is recommended by the superintendent and the director of human resources that the board approve the 2025 homecoming activities to include the following: Spirit Week, September 23rd through 28th, 2024, the parade on September 27th, 2024, and the homecoming dance, September 28th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve the homecoming activities?
So moved.
Ms. Kaminsky, is there support?
Support.
Mr. Jones, any discussion, board members? No, it's going to be an exciting time. I hear we have a class of 79, or is it 79, Jay? Class of 79's got a reunion. I know they're doing something big. So it's going to be fun homecoming this year, and we'll go from there. So stay tuned for the theme, and as usual, if anybody has a Corvette or a convertible of some kind, a Mustang, anybody, we need cars for the parade, please don't make me beg, okay? Just saying. Just pointing it out.
And who do we send that email to?
You can send that right to Ken.
Okay.
Yes. No? Okay, Mr. Manning, call the roll, please.
Ms. Kaminsky.
Votes yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Ms. Santini.
Yes.
Mr. Manning votes yes, and Mr. Maynard.
Mr. Manning votes yes. Motion carries 5-0. Resignation. It is recommended by the superintendent and the director of human resources that the board approve the resignation of Kara Cottrell as middle school principal effective July 22, 2024. Ms. Cottrell has worked for the district as a principal since 2015 and as a teacher for 15 years prior to becoming a principal. Is there a motion to accept Ms. Cottrell's resignation?
So moved.
Ms. Kaminsky, is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Jones. Is there any discussion, board members?
Sad.
I will just say on behalf of the board that we wish Kara well. She is going to another job in another school district where her passion is elementary students. So she's following her passion. And it's admirable to see somebody follow their passion. It's certainly a loss to Clintondale. She was a very nice, bubbly, smiley person all the time. And then when she wanted something from you, she was persistent. So always defending for her students, always for her teachers, and always for all the staff that worked in her building. So I will miss her, and I wish her nothing but the best. Mr. Manning, call the roll.
Ms. Kaminsky.
Votes yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Ms. Santini.
Yes.
Mr. Manning votes yes. Mr. Maynard.
Yes. Motion carries 5-0. We wish Ms. Cottrell the best. 6, resignation. It is recommended by the superintendent and the director of human resources that the board approve the resignation of Melanie Cargill, high school principal, effective July 31st, 2024. Mrs. Cargill has worked for the district as a teacher, assistant principal, and principal for 29 years. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Jones. Is there support?
I'll support.
Support by Ms. Kaminsky. Board members, is there discussion?
Another sad one for me, seeing Ms. Cargill go. She's done a lot for Clintondale, and we'll miss her.
I will just say that I'm the only one on the board who had Melanie as a student. Japanese, I'm telling you, and then I got to work with her as principal, and I will always be thankful for her, and I wish her the best. Call the roll.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Ms. Kaminsky.
Votes yes.
Mr. Manning votes yes. Ms. Santini.
Yes.
And Mr. Maynard.
5-0. Mr. Maynard votes yes. Good luck to Melanie and with her new adventure. 7, resolution to consider official delegate and alternate representative for the October 24th, 2024 MASB Delegate Assembly and identifying the candidates supported by the board. Last year, board members, when we did this, we had 2 people attend. Mrs. Noak was unable to at the last minute. Mr. Manning drove all the way up there, and it was such a kerfuffle.
Oh, yay.
Lord have mercy. Felt bad for you driving all the way up there. So I'm looking at this point. I didn't ask anybody like I did last year. I'm not going to ask anybody this time. Board members, it's a 1 or 2 day conference. You get to represent our voice on this at this conference and on all the issues before the legislation, before the board or before MASB. So does anybody have a burning desire to go? Well, don't jump at once.
Not a burning desire.
I mean, don't jump at once.
How is the Orange Barrel thing on the way there?
Well, I'm just gonna tell you, I drive it 3 days a week. There's a reason I leave at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'll leave it at that. Okay, so don't everybody jump at once. It has to be a board member.
And it's Thursday through Sunday?
I
yes?
believe so.
Thursday through Sunday.
I hear Lansing's wonderful that time of year. I've been there. It's October. Okay. We're gonna draw lots, I'm telling you. Mr. Jones, will you do delegate and I'll do alternate?
No.
No. Ms. Kaminsky?
What's the deal there, Mr. Maynard? You'll be the second up and I'll be the first up?
Or
that
I'll be
how
the
it goes?
first up and you only go on the, because you gotta take a day off and I can take one of the 2 days off. I
Okay,
can take the
I'm-
Thursday, you do the Friday?
I can do that.
All right, so, okay. So I'll do the delegate, Felicia will do the alternate. And just so everybody out there understands, these are 2 working days for us, and we each have to take a day off from work to go. So at least I can work in Lansing that day until it starts, so. Is there a motion to approve myself as the delegate and Ms. Kaminsky as the alternate?
So moved.
Mr. Manning? Is there support?
Support.
Mr. Jones? Are you sure, Mr. Jones? You don't want to do either one of them?
Of course the motion
I mean,
support.
we can check and see if there's a state game at home that weekend. I'll buy you tickets.
Oh,
Just
hey.
throwing that out
I
there.
have nothing green.
I got nothing green.
I asked Bob, I'm sure they're running a little cheap this year, but you know. Okay, call the roll for Maynard as the delegate, Kaminsky as the alternate.
All right, Mr. Manning votes yes. Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Santini?
Yes.
And Ms. Kaminsky?
Yes.
And Mr. Minner?
Yes. Motion carries 5-0. 8 is 1AD. Board members, before we move into the approval, I want to take a minute to just go through the process for the people on the TV screen and for people here. Our detractors say that nobody wants to come to Clintondale. Stat 1, 40 people applied to be the principal here. 40. Once the 40 were in, the process was Mr. Jansrick went through and combed them out or searched them out on the basis of our posting. He selected 9 people, including 3 of Clintondale's finest. Those 9 people were put through their paces in front of an internal committee for the interview. Those members of the committee I want to thank now. Dr. Jay Blasius, Rodney Harris from the Educational Foundation, counselor in the high school Courtney Carroll, Kathy Zabel, athletic director Bob Walmsley, our director of curriculum Heather Halpin, Nancy James, a teacher in the middle school. She was in the high school, now she's in the middle school. And our PR person, Alex Hetchel. I would also like to thank for their consideration Steve Mosko and Miss Shack and Miss Helmer. All 3 wanted to be, but could not make the date that was chosen. Further, like to thank Mrs. Halpin with an assist from Ken, who came up with the interview questions. Those interview questions, again, so everybody knows, are here. I don't think I want to read all 11 of these.
No.
Keep us
You
here
don't need
forever.
to. No.
But, for example, one of the questions they were asked is, hold on one second. Outline your approach to enhancing the culture at Clintondale. How are you going to change? How are we going to be better with you in the seat? So I want to thank Ken and Heather for their questions. The committee met. They met Thursday, Lee, what date was it again? 2 Thursdays ago?
Yeah.
2 Thursdays ago, they spent all day, volunteered their time. People had to take days off of work. They had to reschedule their activities with their children. So again, I wanted to thank all of the committee. And they interviewed the 9 people that the superintendent felt were the best out of the 40. 3 were selected as the top. Those top 3 were given to the superintendent that evening. The superintendent asked to see me on Monday. I stopped in. He went over the 3, saying candidate A, candidate B, and candidate C. Based on our discussion, candidate A and candidate B were provided the opportunity to present to the superintendent a 30, 60, and 90-day plan. That was Wednesday. 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. After that, the superintendent called me Thursday. He said, Jared, texted me, he said, Jared, I got 5 things to talk to you about. Happened to be in the car. We had enough time to talk about 4. And I said I'd pick them up for lunch, and we talk about the 5th. The 5th being the principals. He came down. He talked about what he wanted to do with each. and where he wanted to go. Handed me the file and asked me to consider it. Thursday, I read it 3 times. Friday, after the golf outing. Saturday, twice, and once on Sunday. The superintendent brought forward, and this was after, by the way, making sure we scoured those 3 like no tomorrow. What can we find online? What's wrong? Any court cases? Anything going down the line. Came into the office today. Ken and I had a chat. We brought forward the 2 names that we're going to bring forward. Ken immediately did all the final reference checks, offered the 2 positions, and which brings us to here. So I will just say that this is one of the most thorough processes that I've been a part of for hiring people. I want to thank the interview committee again, and board members, as you all instructed. I did read the feedback on each of the top 2. I read it in the admin building today, and I'm solid in making the recommendation with Ken. So I lay before the board the recommendation to appoint Sean Shackelford as high school principal for the 2024-2025 school year, contingent upon fingerprints, physical, and records check. Is there a motion to appoint Mr. Shackelford the high school principal?
So moved.
Mr. Manning. Mr. Jones. Board members, do you have any questions of me about Mr. Shackelford or about the process? None? It was as thorough as we could get it. Inside of your packets is his resume. Mr. Shackelford is wonderful, and he's going to help us out a lot with our goals of accountability for staff, accountability for teachers, accountability for students, and accountability for each other on this board. So it's going to be wonderful moving forward. Hearing no discussion further, Mr. Manning, please call the roll.
Mr. Manning votes yes. Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Santini?
Yes.
Ms. Kaminsky?
Votes yes?
And Mr. Maynard?
You got to take Lisa first. Lisa, this is no.
Yeah.
Okay, Mrs. No.
Yes. Mr. Maynard,
And
yes.
Mr. Maynard?
Motion carries 6-0 to appoint Sean Shackelford as the high school principal for the 2024-2025 season. Mr. Shackelford, welcome to the team.
Is he here?
I don't think he's here. Is he not here?
No, they're doing last minute phone calls, so
Okay.
I'm able to make it.
All right, that's good. We'll meet him at the August meeting for sure.
Yes.
Okay, 2AD, the process, when the superintendent and I spoke about the process and we set it up for the high school principal, he rightfully said, hey, if we have an opening in the middle school, what about the top 2 going through? So we had over 40 people between 2 positions. And we lay before you Dr. Daniel Berry as the middle school principal for the 2024-2025 school year, contingent upon approved fingerprints, physical, and records check. Is there a motion to approve Mr. Berry?
So moved?
Ms. Kaminsky, is there support?
Support.
Mr. Jones. Inside of your board packets is Mr. Berry's resume. He got his doctorate in educational leadership from Trevecca Nazarene University in Nashville, Tennessee. His Master of Arts in Secondary Education from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. Go Blue. That's right. His Bachelor of Arts in English from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. Go Blue. I guess I got a fan, huh? So, and he has an incredible resume, and the comments, I'm going to paraphrase 2. We need this guy now. And wow for Clintondale. So, it's my report. Any questions?
I understand this gentleman is 10 years younger than you.
Yes, yes, he is.
So what would that make him?
Well, he's the new young man of the leadership group.
We
So,
could use some good new young blood.
he's, 15 years younger than Ken, I think, or something like that. No? Okay, that was funny. Mr. Manning, call the roll, please.
Ms. Kaminsky.
Votes yes.
Mr. Jones. Ms. Santini.
Yes.
Ms. Note.
Yes.
Mr. Manning votes yes, and Mr. Maynard.
Yes. Motion carries 6-0. Welcome aboard Dr. Daniel Berry as the middle school principal for 2024, 2025.
Is he here?
He is not. He was in Ypsilanti when we offered him the job,
Okay.
and he could not get here.
All right.
So we will do some sort of reception before the next meeting to officially welcome both of them coming forward. And this makes it number 10, school social worker. It is recommended by the superintendent and the director of human resources that the board approve Zakiah Davis as a social worker for the 2024-2025 school year, contingent upon approved fingerprints, physical, and records check. The rate of pay will be $55,889, which is step 5 of the MA salary schedule. Is there a motion to hire Zakiah Davis?
So moved.
Ms. Kaminsky. Is there support?
Support.
Ms. Zontini. Any discussion? Do you want to give a small background there, Mr. Superintendent?
Ms. Davis came in, interviewed with both Director of Special Education as well as myself on another day with Dr. Hemler and Mrs. Shack. Wonderful individual from the area, interest involves also coaching cheerleading. So excited to have someone come in, interested to work. She's had a couple of great experiences. References came back wonderful and amazing. I'm excited to have her as part of the team.
Okay. Any questions for the superintendent? Nope. Okay, Mrs. Noak, since you are here, Mr. Manning, thank you, sir, for serving. Mrs. Noak, would you call the roll, please?
Ms. Kaminsky.
Votes yes.
Ms. Santini.
Yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Mr. Manning.
Votes yes.
Ms. Lisa Valerio now, yes, and Mr. Maynard.
Yes. Motion carries 6-0. Welcome to Clintondale, Miss Davis. 4AD, Supervisor of Operations. It is recommended by the Superintendent and the Director of Human Resources that the Board approve Carla Kelly as the Supervisor of Operations. The rate of pay for Carla Kelly will be $60,000. It'll be prorated to July 1st, 2024. Carla has been employed as Secretary 3 in the Buildings and Grounds Department since 2014. Is there a motion to approve Ms. Kelly as the Supervisor of Operations?
So moved.
Mr. Manning, is there support?
Support.
Ms. Kaminsky, any discussion, board members, starting with Ken? Do you want to give a little brief about what she has been doing for us since Laura left?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
As soon as we had the opening for the Director of Operations, I quickly sat down with the team to identify point people, to identify work that needed to be done within the district. We have conducted multiple interviews for the Director of Operations, and at this time, we are not comfortable moving forward, but we still need someone in charge of the day-to-day people aspect of the Operations Department. Carla has done a wonderful job since Laura left and her taking over, and just working with me as well as the team to identify the areas to focus on, from the team cleaning to the work at Rainbow. She stepped right up and stepped in, and she's done a great job with it. Based on where we were with Director of Operations, based on what Carla has been doing throughout the course of the years, over the years of being in that department, it seemed like a great opportunity and a great time to move her into the supervisor just as a role to keep us moving forward. We have a lot of things going, from night lock to key fob systems, to the day-to-day cleaning, to the continued air conditioning issues, to continued list. Having her in that role is gonna be great because she has some historical knowledge of the employees here as well as the district. So she's done a wonderful job so far, and I expect that to continue.
Board members, any comments? Mrs. Knoke, please call the roll.
Mr. Manning?
Vote yes.
Ms. Kaminsky?
Votes yes?
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Santini?
Yes.
Ms. Maloney? Yes. Mr. Maynard?
Yes. Motion carries 6-0. Congratulations to our new supervisor, Carla Kelly.
And one thing to add, she was gonna try to be here, but she does have a daughter that's playing a doubleheader right out back. So I said the doubleheader and the daughter softball game was extremely important to be at. But we'll make sure she gets up here to meet all of you here soon.
We'll have to take that motion and go grab her. We'll have to postpone. No.
We're good. Softball's important. Family first.
Yes, it is. Okay, that brings us to public comment on items not on the agenda. We encourage you to voice your opinion on topics not on the agenda. Please stand and be recognized by the chairperson and state your name and address before commenting. To provide the opportunity for all to participate, board policy limits each individual to 3 minutes. To ensure due process and respect for individual rights, the district maintains a formal process for handling complaints against individuals. A problem involving an individual or individuals or specific incident is best handled through administrative channels. Speakers are asked to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy of others who may be affected by your comments. Speakers should be aware that if your statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, you may be held legally responsible. Is there anybody wishing to address the board this evening? 3 minutes. Who is, ladies first? Ladies first, gentlemen.
Jay Blasius, 47252 Grand Cypress Court.
Ladies first, somebody.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I said ladies first, Jay.
Oh, I didn't.
It's, go ahead, go Jay, go, it's fine.
Macomb Township, 48044. For all those, the golf outing, Billy Pisa Memorial Golf Outing was a huge success, as always. It was a beautiful day. People were getting along, not too many people being too unruly, I don't think. Everybody behaved themselves. Appreciate all your guys' support who showed up. And just so you guys know, it's always the last Friday in last Friday in July is the golf outing. Last Friday in February is the night at the races. If you want to meet alumni, this is the place to do it. We have a great time, and ultimately we make a decent amount of money, as you guys can tell by what we've done for the school already, for the students at Clintondale Community Schools.
Dr. Blasius.
Any questions?
Dr. Blasius, what exactly is the figure over 200,000 some odd dollars?
I think since 2016, where we really started keeping track of it, was $226,000 and some odd change, Bob, something like that. And that's when we started really keeping track of it. Prior to that, there's probably been a ton more money. We just don't, there was nobody's really keeping a good record of the monies that were spent. And that's part of the reason why we took over the golf outing, because there were no concrete records.
What is the project that you're focusing on for this upcoming year?
I'll defer to Bob, because he kind of helps guide us. And we have some plans. We have a wrap-up meeting coming up this week, and we're going to discuss, we review the golf outing, and then we're going to review what we're going to do going forward. Obviously, we're going to get requisitions from coaches. We had definitely more coach participation this year than we've ever had in a while, as far as coming to the golf outing, meeting the golfers, sponsoring holes, donations. It was great. It's like the culture is changing, at least from the athletic department. People are changing. People are helping out. I'll defer to Bob.
Mr. Athletic Director? Yeah. Could you state your name and address for the record?
Bob Wamsley, 35200 Little Mac.
You do live here.
To comment on the projects, this summer we are completing branding of the weight room. We are in the process of putting the pads up in the wrestling room. We are completing the girls' locker room. And then we're also gonna tackle outside, we're gonna put some permanent lines out on our baseball, softball fields. So, that's what we're doing this summer. And whatever we don't get done, we're gonna just keep going until it's done. Okay? And then we'll discuss future projects, because there's a few construction things that need to be taken care of. So, little big project, but we'll work towards it. Really what I wanted to come up here and speak about was we got a letter from State Senator Veronica Kleinfeld's office for our high school girls track team, and I'd just like to read it. There's two documents here. One is a letter from the office. It says, "Dear members and coaches of the Clintondale High School girls track and field team, when Senator Veronica Kleinfeld, who represents your school in the state Senate, saw that you won the 2024 MHSA Region 3 championship title, she wanted to recognize your team with a legislative tribute. Your achievement took hard work and determination, and she is proud to represent such great athletes in the Michigan Senate. If you or your families ever need assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out to our office. We are here to serve you." And that is signed by Noah Peterson, Constituent Director for the Senator's office. And then the tribute, it reads, "State of Michigan Special Tribute to Clintondale High School Girls Track and Field Team, 2024 MHSAA Region 3 Champions. Let it be known that it is a pleasure to recognize the members of the Clintondale High School Girls Track and Field Team for claiming the 2024 MHSAA Region 3 Championship. From their championship win, it is clear that the Dragons Girls Track and Field Team bring a winning attitude, work ethic, and outstanding athletic ability to their competitions. As a result, they have successfully faced off against 16 other teams and claimed the championship. In special tribute, therefore, this document is signed saluting the Clintondale High School Girls Track and Field Team for their tremendous accomplishment. May they continue to achieve great things in Clinton Township, Macomb County, and beyond." And this is signed by Senator Veronica Kleinfeld and also State Representative Denise Menser. So very nice tribute to get in the mail from some of our local politicians. So I just want to make sure we read that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ma'am, please state your name and address for the record.
Hello, I'm Sharita Cushionberry. I live at 35237 Wheat Care Drive, Clinton Township, Michigan. Did you hear me, Mr. Manning?
Yes, I did.
Perfect. All right, so I did want to start off today saying that it is super sad that we're losing some admin throughout our buildings in the district. Although it may be good for their personal lives, I can't say that I'm not personally sad about it, but I'm also happy for them, to do whatever best for their lives, because that's what's most important. I'm also happy to hear that we have some candidates in place for our children to move on when, the school year starts in the fall. Carla Kelly to be the new operations director. I think it's fantastic. I think I'm gonna apply soon to be her assistant lead, so look out for that. I'm gonna get my resume in order. Just so you know, again, my name is Sharita Cushionberry. I want to shout out Melissa as well, our director of daycare. I've been working at Rainbow for the last 6 months, I think, as an IA, as a custodian, as a mom, whatever's needed for Clintondale for our students. And I would say she's always there. She's very supportive. She lets us know her needs, and I think her needs are being met, you know, through the people that you guys have put in place to be in the buildings. What else? Oh, also Heather and Andrew. Heather Haplin, of course, you guys know, and Andrew Lewis are also been there. Very supportive, very helpful. I just think it's fantastic. I don't know who else to tell besides you guys, but it's just really great. I did a little bit of work that I didn't get approval first to do, but I knew that's what needed to be done for the time being, and I did it, and I'm sorry, and I'm not sorry, but it's done, and it's great, and I'm gonna continue to do whatever I need to do to support our students and the staff of Clintondale, whether I work here or not. I just want to thank all you guys for your due diligence and get used to my face because I'm going to be here all the time. Okay? That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else wishing for public comment this evening? No? Thank you very much for those who spoke at public comment. We appreciate your comments, and don't worry, everything worked out fine with whatever you did, we're sure. Ken already signed off on it. So, fingers crossed. And if he didn't, I spoke too soon. There you go. Board members, approval of the bills is recommended by the superintendent and the board president that the board approve the bills ending July 11th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve the bills?
So moved.
Mr. Manning, is there support?
Support.
Mr. Jones? No questions? Great. Call the roll, please. Mrs. Noak.
Mr. Manning,
Vote yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Ms. Santini,
Yes.
Ms. Kaminsky,
Yes.
Ms. Valerio Nelk, yes, and Mr. Maynard.
Yes. Motion carries 6-0. Motion to adjourn. Mr. Manning,
So moved.
you good?
Yes.
Okay. Is there support?
Support?
Mr. Jones, Ms. Santini, both of you are nodding, one of you? Okay. Ms. Santini? Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Manning,
Vote yes.
Ms. Kaminsky,
Votes yes.
Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Ms. Santini,
Yes.
Ms. Valerio Nelk, yes, and Mr. Maynard.
Yes. Motion carries 6-0. The meeting is adjourned at 7:22. I think that's our fastest meeting.
We're getting better. We're getting better.